There's something called equal loudness, and it pertains to how we, human beings, perceive sounds to be equally loud. So, like for example, when listening to music in headphones, you're listening to CD or MP3 player, we hear the high frequencies, like the hat on a drum kit, the ride, the cymbals. And at the same time, we hear the bass from like the kick drum, we hear the floor drum, all playing at the same time to produce the song that we hear. So we hear all those instruments as being around the same volume level. It's this same level of hearing is what we perceive as equal loudness. So this also applies to live sound. If we were to look at a chart of what we hear as equal loudness, it may represent something like this. All the frequencies, or actually all the instruments, are playing nicely together. It sounds good. Therefore, everything sounds equal.
So I leaned in, felt that I was not alone. Wanted to get tossed when the time was gone.
Is this audio equal loudness? It's pretty close. But does the audio represent what's actually going on to achieve equal loudness? Does the audio that you hear represent this chart? No, it does not. So here's a chart of what's actually going on when we hear instruments or frequencies, actually, when we hear all those things together so that they sound equally loud. This is the Fletcher-Munson equal loudness curve. Now the left side of the chart is the bass frequencies, and to the right side is all the mids and highs. The higher the phones, that's that horizontal lines that you're looking at, the stronger the volume needs to be. The lower the lines, the lower the volume. So here's what's going on with the Fletcher-Munson curve. It's showing where the bass and mid-high frequencies need to be, and I'm using a term like approximately, for an equal loudness volume for an event. The bass frequencies are actually very loud compared to the mid and higher frequencies. So for live sound, this is why you hear and feel the bass or the low frequencies, stuff like kick drum, floor toms, the low bass guitar notes. It actually takes a lot of power to bring the bass frequencies in line, an equal loudness line, with the other frequencies so that we can hear all the frequencies of the instruments together equally. This Fletcher-Munson chart is showing a way of mixing live sound to make things sound loud, but are not actually loud. It's sort of like leveraging low frequency amplifier power for good sound. There has been some updates to this chart since its first appearance. And the whole purpose of this video is to get people aware that the Fletcher-Munson curve exists and how it represents what equal loudness is. And if you're interested, take a look at this for more info. It's the ISO 226:2023. Knowing what the Fletcher-Munson curve is and what it is showing equal loudness, this is what helps with setting up a PA to be run at various volume levels, especially at lower volumes. Now, most of you have probably experienced a Fletcher-Munson curve and didn't know it, so this may help you remember. Even on DSP cabinets, for example, our Yamaha DSR 115s, D-Contour, this button here applies a Fletcher-Munson curve. Now, some of you may be old enough to know what a loudness switch is. Now, some CD players many years ago, they had a bass boost on them. And I tell you, that was the only way to listen to the music, was using either bass boost or a loudness switch. Now, companies have been incorporating some version of Fletcher-Munson for decades, and personally I always use a loudness switch because it just makes things sound better. Now previously I mentioned about mixing in a low volume type of setup. And what I mean by that is, like, if there's a band performing, let's say at a dinner party, or maybe some kind of a jazz gathering where loud volume is really not needed. And mixing in a Fletcher-Munson style helps you obtain a good sounding mix without getting too loud. And looking at the chart, it usually takes a lot of power to bring the low frequencies in line with what would be considered equal loudness. Now, the band overall does not need to be loud, just a certain frequency range. So knowing this is how to make an event sound loud when it actually is not loud. And this is how we mix every event, whether it's on our own gear or on a band's gear or on a house system. So mixing in a Fletcher-Munson style allows us to mix a live band at a much lower volume, but still have a full sounding sound system, almost as if the PA was much larger than what it actually is. Now, sometimes in live sound, the fix for adding more bass to the front of house sound is to raise the bass EQ frequencies, maybe one or a few. This is not the best way to address the lack of bass in a PA. The problem with using an EQ is it alters the sound of the instrument for the sake of trying to make the instrument louder. A better solution is just add more power for the low end frequencies. So here's some examples of how Stage Left Audio mixes using the Fletcher-Munson style. Now, we don't rely upon the chart. We know that the chart's there, but we don't look at it to determine how much lower frequencies we need to add into it to make it equally loud. So our focus in providing sound is on the sound quality. This is for any event. And referencing a chart, we know that we need more bass. So our goal is to make everything an equal loudness. Each event is different and does require some tailoring of the sound system to yield good results. Now that may or may not include we need more bass, we need more high end. The whole goal is to make sure that it sounds as good as possible and it is going to sound as full and rich as possible. All right, as I mentioned before, we try to mix every event where the PA sounds loud, but is not actually loud, unless it needs to be. Much of the amplification in our larger sound system is allocated for the lower frequencies. Currently, as of this video, this is done late 2025, we have about 14,000 watts for bass and only about 4,000 watts for the mids and highs. So when I reference the amount of wattage that we have for the sound system, that is referencing what we have available for the sound system. That does not indicate that's how many watts we actually use. All right, in some of these examples, I'm using different cameras along with some different mics.
Parecer
And for some events, we may only need a single 18. And the single 18 that we have is 1400 watts. And we have 1400 watts between both the cabinets for mids and highs. And really for situations like this where the power almost seems equal, I hate to use that term, but equal between the lows and the highs, we will not run the mids and highs loud. This is all about proper balance between bass and the mids and highs. This is not about how loud the sound system can go. For most events that we do to ensure sound quality, the amount of the subwoofer, I'll say it's the amount of the available subwoofer output, we use that to dictate how loud the mid and high speakers will run.
Extra pillows go underneath my head. Don't know why nobody told me about the upside of lonely. All the way that you look at me, the way you look at me, this is all I can do. Walk away forever. Maybe we had too much too soon. Yeah, we peaked before our time.
As I mentioned before, this is how we mix every show. It's all about the sound quality, and if we can make the PA sound loud without it being loud, the guests will enjoy it. It'll be a much more enjoyable event for everybody. You should never walk away from an event with your ears ringing. If you do, it was too loud. All right, hope this helped, and thanks for watching.